After analyzing over 10 hours of pro demos, we're diving deep into everything NiKo does to dominate connector on Mirage. Everything from how to edge smokes that the T's throw, to his strategies for holding window when no one else is playing there, and even some ways to help hold A when the T's do a direct A push. You'll learn everything you could ever need to know about controlling this crucial position. If this video helps you out, be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos like this. And without further ado, let's get started. NiKo's main position is connector, but if the op or Mossy is starting somewhere else, NiKo will rotate into window to hold mid. When NiKo starts window, there are conditions that allow him to peek mid safely. If the T's have an op, that is a no-no to peek window unless his teammates flash for him. If you know the T's don't have an op, then NiKo likes using this angle to hold mid, where he crouches in the bottom right corner of window, making him a very small target and a hard shot to hit. He'll even use this angle even if window gets smoked out, as he can get there in time and puts his crosshair where the T's would come out mid. T's won't come out mid typically without smoke, so they will smoke top mid and or window. If top mid is smoked, this allows NiKo to freely peek out window, knowing the T side opper isn't going for the peek onto window. But if window is smoked, NiKo can easily counter these smokes with HE nade by breaking the top mid smoke and or window smoke. Just make sure you have a teammate flashing mid for you as you peek mid after the smoke break, because the T's will hear the nade go off and they're going to look that direction. NiKo will Molotov top boxes to slow down the T's mid take, and then he can also spray the top mid smoke to stop the cross, or if they are playing behind the smoke. All this happens within the first 20 seconds of the round, and then NiKo will rotate to connector because he will throw the bottom connector smoke in case the T's have come out mid already. This is the most important smoke you need to know. This smoke lands in front of the bottom con and blocks off the whole mid ramp. When T's see this smoke, they slow down and have to take extra precaution in case the CTs are inside connector or even push out mid peeking underpass. NiKo just has to focus on any T's pushing up catwalk since the smoke only covers bottom mid. NiKo doesn't always throw the smoke at the beginning of the round to not waste it. The T's will have to force him to throw the smoke, meaning if there is presence mid, or sometimes he'll just hold onto it knowing the T's are playing at a slower default, so he will jiggle peek from top connector and then smoke it off when the T's are going for their mid control, where he hears utility being thrown mid. Now, this might not be the case for your Premier and Faceit games, seeing that those games are at a much faster pace, so you will have to throw the bottom con smoke early into the round. The one position inside connector NiKo will play is this right wall, only if bottom connector smoke is up. The smoke gives him cover from mid ramp and he can watch catwalk, and if the T's try to push through his own smoke. Now, before the smoke fades, NiKo will rotate over to window to watch the boost. The reason he doesn't stay inside connector is because the T's take connector control way too easily with the smoke and Molotov, but when NiKo does play inside connector, he will hold that back right position because T's scaling up catwalk won't check that corner. There's also a duo setup NiKo and Mossy uses with this bottom con smoke, where NiKo plays in the same position and holds the left side, while Mossy from the top connector on the left is gonna hold the right side mid. The bottom connector smoke also allows NiKo time to then go stairs to help out A, to where he's able to peek palace as well as able to peek ramp by getting on top of the stairs, and this can only be done safely when palace is smoked or Molotov out. Before the bottom connector smoke fades, NiKo makes his way back to window because he needs to watch the boost. When he does this, Mossy is usually towards ticket, keeping an eye on connector. If he wants to get information, his teammates can flash window for him to peek mid, elsewise he will remain inside window unless he needs to rotate. For example, maybe his teammates need him to watch connector for the split. He will play this off angle inside jungle, but the issue is that no one is watching window, so he is taking the gamble when playing this position that no one is going to flank him. Ideally, you would want a teammate inside ladder to watch window if you're playing this position. A lot of pro teams on T side are having one player lurk the window boost while they come up connector, but a new position allows NiKo to watch both window and the connector walkout. Is this corner inside window, he is able to switch back and forth to watch window and connector. Yes, he can still get timing, but it's not like the other position where window isn't watched at all. Now, before we cover NiKo's aggressive plays to take top mid and frag out, today's video is sponsored by SkinPlace. SkinPlace is a platform where you can sell your CS2 skins instantly and quickly withdraw your money. All you need to do is log in Steam, select the skins you want to sell, pick your cash out method from all these different options, then click receive money, and in a couple of seconds you get your payment in your account. Don't forget to use code NART to get an extra 3% when selling your skins. Use the link in the description to sell your skins now. Now, if NiKo had the mid spawn and Mossy wants to start window 2, then NiKo can jump out window throwing this nade for top mid. It will do good damage to any T's that push out mid early on, and it helps NiKo win those early engagements since the T's will be lower health. After throwing this nade, sometimes NiKo will stay mid and hold this off angle mid ramp, counter strafing left and right. This is a powerful off angle angle mid that was made popular by Donk, T's entering out mid are not pre-aiming this angle and are focused on clearing multiple other positions. You don't want to hold this off angle forever since the T's can't come out underpass and backstab you, so there is a timing where NiKo has to turn around and watch underpass if he is not falling back, and then he will need a teammate in window or cat to watch his top mid. Another strong mid play NiKo has involves if the T's throw the top mid smoke, he can get alongside the left mid ramp wall and scale up to jump on catwalk with the cover of the smoke. Now he can hold this angle to the right as the smoke gives him cover to do so. T's will usually not be spraying or breaking their own smoke and they won't push through it, so NiKo is good to hold behind it, but be ready when the smoke fades to take any aim duels if he didn't fall back. NiKo also has a flash aggro mid play at the beginning of the round where he throws a flash off the stairs and it pops before he enters out connector. The flash blinds the T, however they recover in time. Sometimes he will throw the flash off the wall and it lands behind him so it doesn't blind him, or he has another play where he waits inside his connector smoke and he will throw a flash paired up with a Mob's flash to go through his own smoke. As the connector player, you will come across two common connector smokes, and let's see how NiKo reacts to them. The first smoke lands inside connector and blocks off the whole connector. NiKo or his teammates can throw HE nades to break open the smoke and he can peek behind them. He could catch a lucky timing that the T's aren't looking his way when he does so. He could also spray the smoke for top mid or if he hears them running up cat, and then lastly he can also push the smoke with a flash. Ideally you would want your teammates to throw a flash to pair it up with his. The second smoke lands top connector thrown mid round, and you could play in front of the smoke inside connector because T's will pair it up with a Molotov, but you won't take any damage because technically you're still in the smoke, so T's will think connector is clear, and when they peek it, that's when you surprise them by being in connector still. You could also break open this smoke, but it's your opper or the A player throwing the HE nade, and your opper then will scope on connector. Otherwise you can't really do anything against this smoke but to respect it, and you have to know that the T's now can be inside connector or lurk through the smoke. Now let's move over to A. When the T's are executing A with right side A smokes, how does NiKo react? The first way is to push through the smoke towards the bench. You do this if you have teammates in sight so you could help them out, but if your teammates are playing passive like jump spot and ticket and playing for retake, then there's no need to be a hero and push through the smokes. Now if the T's Molotov bench, you can still push through their smoke, but you will have to stand at the edge of it so you don't get burned by the Molotov. Now if you still have your smoke when the T's execute, you see NiKo throws his smoke in front of the T's jungle smoke, which then he can make the same play as before and push through the smokes on that back wall while being on top of the bench and trash can. This smoke gives him cover to do so safely as his smoke extends out past the T's jungle smoke, and it also gives NiKo a one-way smoke to work with as he can see over the smoke and only a little bit of his model is showing. The last thing NiKo can do to counter the A smokes is to break open the smoke with an HE nade. If you throw it at the perfect time, you can catch the T's off guard, but make sure you're communicating with your teammates that you're breaking the smoke so they can be ready to catch the T's naked out in the open. The first thing NiKo can do is if he is stairs, he can peek palace and ramp right before the smokes bloom to get some shots in, as the T's might not expect to peek since they're relying on the smokes to give them cover. The second way is to push through the smoke towards the bench. Now you know how to hold down connector on Mirage like a pro. If you want me to cover any more pros or positions, let me know in the comments below, and if you want to learn how to play B on Ancient like JL, click the video on the screen now.